Not yet. Now we're live.
Are we live, Mr. Midnight?
I swear we are.
Okay, good. How are you, Johnny?
I'm doing pretty good, GM. How are you?
Very good. Life is good. Lots of good stuff happening right now, I think.
Yeah. So you have hinted. I'm glad that you've got some things going up and up here. That's pretty cool. Um, I'm just kind of taking it sort of one day at a time as of
Yeah.
late, and it kind of goes along with the topic of today's stream. Did being raised Gen X better prepare men for being MGTOW? I
Right.
identify as a well, I go my own way. I'm a man who goes his own way. That, in
Yeah.
case you don't know what that is. Um, we are considered the Taliban of the fucking internet and the manosphere. I don't know why.
By who though? Isn't it by somebody recently being
That
investigated? The ADL? Or the
yeah,
Southern Poverty Law Center?
the SPLC says, yeah,
That's
we're like the worst of the worst after the PUAs, even though there's never been like a murder or a terroristic act done in our name. Um, but the thing is that we are draining the tax coffers of the United States of America because we are not engaging in their systemic bullshit. I hate using the word systemic, but that is exactly what it is. I
it's
have no
systemic
other
for sure.
fucking word for it. So,
I know when all these people talk about this systemic oppression, they're
mhm.
right, but they're not right about the actual victims of what's happening right now.
Yeah, I don't like being called a victim, but going my own way keeps me from being that. Otherwise, I'd probably be in prison or fucking in divorce court and then in prison because I couldn't pay the divorce court. Then I'd just be in this endless loop of usury. Um,
Yes, usury.
yeah, or as MGTOW Outlook calls it usury and abusery, and it is a
Yes.
type of abuse. Um, the thing is that if you can find, and it takes some time, but if you can find a way to live your life on your own accords, you can still do it for now. I The main reason I keep my ear to the ground through MGTOW channels is to get reports of what is changing legally, socially, and economically in the United States, or pretty much the Western world,
Yeah.
to where my good thing that I have built might be under threat. And what do I need to do to shift gears and keep my good thing going? Um, I can't get anything happily handed to me just because I'm an average dude, aka typical white jerk off. All right.
Right.
And that means I'm really going to have to do things uh, on my own accord, much as I was raised to do, being Generation X. Kind of made
Mm.
things pretty easy for me. In the upcoming video, we're going to find out exactly why, what types of men in my cohort um, are going their own way and how they're able to continue to function. All right. Um, yeah, anybody watching this, I know it looks like AI slop, but seriously, just listen to the fucking content. It is really pretty good.
Okay. Hit it.
Well, yeah, hit it.
Hit it.
It's 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. The house is quiet. No one's slamming a door down the hall. No one's calling his name. The fishing channel is going in the background, not really watching it, just running. He's in his 50s, sitting with all of it. Maybe that's your friend. Maybe that's you. Gen X was the first generation of kids who came home to an empty house and just handled it. Nobody asked if they were okay. Nobody really thought to. And 40 years later, a lot of those same guys are in a house that's quiet again, and they're handling it the same way they always did. Whether that's working or not is a different question. I'm Alex, and I want to get into the actual psychology here, not the sad bachelor narrative, the real thing. How this guy got here, what his days feel like from the inside, where it holds, and where, quietly and without much drama, it starts to slip. The numbers are worth knowing, but let's keep it brief. About 2 out of 3 single men in midlife in the US live alone. Back in 1970, only around 7% of midlife adults had never been married. By 2020, that was close to 30%. 1 in 3 men in midlife has never walked down the aisle. That's not a subculture. That's a structural shift. And Gen X is sitting right in the center of it. But the number alone doesn't tell you much. The reason a man ends up in that apartment and what being there actually feels like, that's where the real psychology starts. There's something that happened to Gen X specifically that no other generation experienced quite the same way. They were the latchkey kids, the first real wave of them. Kids who came home to empty houses, let themselves in, made their own food, and figured out their own problems.
So, Johnny, they had empty houses because both parents were working?
Both parents were working, and we were also the first generation to suffer parents who were indulging in no-fault divorce. By 1983, every fucking state in the United States had no-fault divorce except for South Dakota. And then South Dakota fell in 1985. New York typically did not get no-fault divorce technically until 2010, but they still used all the New Yorkie loopholes to make sure that the woman came out ahead so she could go fuck Chad and Tyrone or the guy across the street and get away with it with cash and prizes. So what happened here was, in my particular case, it was a little bit different. My dad died of cancer a few days before I turned age 9. All right. So we didn't have like daycares and extended days as prominently as they do now, Somali run or otherwise. We just didn't have these fucking things. These facilities were not in demand yet because it was completely a new phenomenon. And President Ronald Reagan, who was then governor of California, was the first person to instantiate no-fault divorce in that state. And so go California, so go with the nation. One by one, the states fell like fucking dominoes. And then, of course, you had the religious right in like Indiana and Alabama, like, you're going to turn our women into fucking whores. God damn you. And they were like, yeah, we will, but fuck you anyway. And even that legislation still passed. Like I said, South Dakota was the last readout for that, and that fell in 1985.
And you didn't have any siblings, or did you?
Not until I was right before I turned 18, and my sister didn't live with us. She lived with her father, and we had a crib and stuff in there, but like she never used it. I think she slept in it maybe 3 times, and then eventually I left and went to college. It's a little bit different for the family dynamic for a child that is who loses his father to death rather than divorce is a little bit different, because typically the child will take over I'm the man of the house now. Even when you're age fucking 9, and that does put a lot of pressure on the child to succeed. Like, okay, I've got to do all the responsible things. I have to work hard. I got to get good grades. I've got to be able to take care of myself sooner than later, because I instinctively know that the nuclear family unit has been destroyed here. Now, when you have a child of divorce and they kick the dad out and the mother terrorizes the son saying, I hate him, he's a fucking abuser, blah, 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 blah. And only like 5% of her tale is true because she's a borderline bitch. Then the child may actually do the opposite. They embrace failure, and they like to go ahead and act out. They're very fucking angry. They're angry at their dad because of the lies their fucking feminist mother was spouting out of her asshole. Her well
Right.
fucked asshole, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's disgusting how that happens to these kids. Um, Many of the MGTOW brothers that are probably watching this right now are either children of dead dads or divorced out of the house dads.
Mm.
And we'll get to where they fit in later on in their lives pretty soon. You can keep rolling it.
Research from the early 2000s described Gen X as one of the least parented generations in American history. And while that sounds harsh, the data actually complicates it in an interesting direction. Studies on independence development suggest that reduced adult supervision, when it happens early enough, accelerates certain skills: problem solving, tolerance for ambiguity, the ability to sit in a quiet room without needing to
Mhm.
immediately fill it with noise or people. The psychologist Donald Winnicott argued that the capacity to be alone is one of the most important signs of emotional maturity a person can develop. Gen X was essentially trained in that, whether they signed up for it or not. So when a 54-year-old Gen X man says he likes living alone, he's not performing contentment. He's reporting a skill he's had since he was 10. The quiet doesn't unsettle him. He learned to sit in it in a house where nobody was home. But here's where it gets complicated. When emotional self-sufficiency gets trained into you early enough, it stops feeling like a skill and starts feeling like a
Mhm.
personality.
Mm.
And then you stop being able to tell the difference between not needing people and having just gotten very good at convincing yourself you don't. That distinction matters more than most people realize. The road that leads to this life isn't the same for everyone. The destination looks identical from the outside: same apartment, same quiet evenings, same dinner for one. But the experience of being there is completely different depending on how you arrived. There's the guy who never married. It wasn't a protest or a wound. It just kind of happened. He was in his 20s building something, a career, a life that made sense to him, and
Yep.
the partnership kept getting pushed to the next chapter. He had relationships, some of them long ones, but they never tipped over into permanent.
That
And the
that
longer you
stop
live
right
alone,
there. That
Mhm.
that exactly described me when I saw that originally. When I saw this video, I was like, "Holy moly!" It's like this guy took a look into my past. Um, to me, marriage and family was just seemed to be something like an expectation. It's like, yeah, my parents got married, my grandparents got married. It's what a fucking guy does around 30, right?
Right.
Um, I I did keep delaying everything, not just through college. Then I went to graduate school, and then I had to go ahead and try to find something that would be uh, a type of endeavor that would support a family. That didn't that I never really found that kind of income where I could feel like I would be comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
I And it didn't bother me that much, except around this time I was experiencing what I guess I would call not red pill rage, but blue pill rage.
Mm.
I was like, I treat these women really well. Why don't they stick around very long?
Mm.
Um, yeah, I kept going through a series of serial monogamy. I do feel that in some ways, part of that is my fault because I was not emotionally present for some of them. And remember, these women of this generation want attention. Okay, this is the generation of supermodels and rock stars, and we're going to go ahead and make everything big. We're going to be on the we're going to be in the movies and everything like that. I was trying to get into it, and so were these women. They were trying to get into their quote unquote dream job, which few people should expect to earn a living off of any of these activities. And I
Right.
hate to say it, but it's like saying, I'm going to earn a living being a checkers master. Um,
Right.
I'm going to earn a living skiing or playing basketball. Yeah, they're fun. They're great hobbies. You really should do them. But painting and music and writing and artwork and things like that, although extremely important, not optional to our societies. Very few people should expect to do that and nothing else. So
Right.
I'm doing those activities along with my day job. And sure, maybe my day job might be tangentially related to art, which was what I majored in, but it still didn't get me to the a point where I felt secure in terms of time and money to be able to um, pop the question or anything like that. I also knew these women were not very receptive to anything like that. They would talk about, I have no maternal instincts. Babies are disgusting. Yeah,
See, that
yeah,
part's weird.
it is. It is. These were chicks from like the punk rock and the art scenes, the goth scenes. They're fucking crazy. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I did date a couple of quote unquote normie women too, and they felt the same way. Their demands were so high that Johnny wasn't going to be good enough, quick enough to meet their goals of having a family and the traditional lifestyle. You're seeing your previous generation, which was Generation Jones, and then of course the Alpha Boomers, and they got to go to New York and become Wall Street brokers and become yuppies and everything like that. And the boomers got to own all these businesses and create electronic empires and whatnot. Generation X was saying, "Wait a minute, you know, where how can we become yuppies?" Well, in 1991, Time Magazine declared the death of the yuppie, and we're like, "Oh fuck, now what do we do?"
Right.
Um, because of that, I missed the boat. All right,
Hmm.
and I kind of didn't mind it. I didn't find things like the Manosphere or MGTOW, but it did bother me somewhat, but also not too terribly.
But Johnny, do you think if you would have found a woman that actually met all the checked all the boxes for you, do you think
Mhm.
it'd been a little more motivating as far as like, hey, here's this woman I want to have children with, I want to start a family with, maybe I should go make
Right.
more money. Like what part of that is that motivation is lacking because there's no muse? Like,
Right, right, exactly. Well,
yeah,
I'll tell you what, yeah, she was amusing, literally, and was not a competitor, but a compliment to me, a companion. Then
yeah,
I would have actually been able to pop the question full, you know,
yeah.
put myself on the hot seat for marriage and a family at the time. I think that we would be able to traditionally grow together like people did do in Generation Jones and the baby boom and things like that.
And every generation in the history forever.
Yeah, right. But the thing is that feminism had become so pervasive by then.
Yeah.
Um, the the second wave feminism that was instantiated in the mid 60s finally caught up to third wave feminism in 1992 or 1, I think, when Rebecca Walker declared it that fucking bitch.
Mm,
And that immediately took over our media. All right. It was funny because here was like the first time in our lives we didn't have to worry about getting nuked by the Soviets or the Chinese.
yeah.
Um, we should have been partying and celebrating, but our media was telling our women to hate us because we were misogynist. It was telling white people, or white men rather, to hate themselves and to want to die through that fucking Kurt Cobain guy. And thirdly, it was telling black men to pick up a gun and shoot people because you're wearing the wrong color of jacket.
Mm.
And and then black women got to go ahead and live off fucking generations of welfare. And who started that? What started Generation X in the first place? It's all linked together. It was Lyndon B. Johnson
Hmm. His
who
cabinet.
Yeah, his cabinet,
Had a bunch of women in it.
well, not only that, he started the Civil Rights Act, the Hart-Celler Act, which was bringing a bunch of fucking foreign labor into the country, and his Great Society plan, which sounds frighteningly familiar to the Great Leap Forward that China was having at the same time. Yes, here's the thing, and here's my conspiracy theory, which Lyndon
Okay.
B. Johnson, he coined that term to gaslight people who ask questions. My
He is
conspiracy,
a progenitor of that.
yeah, COINTELPRO.
Okay.
Yeah, COINTELPRO is what does it stand for? Co-intelligence propaganda. I forget what the CO stands. Counterintelligence propaganda. So if somebody said the communists killed JFK, he would use counterintelligence to say, "No, it's just a lone gunman. Shut up, faggot." And that would start the whole tinfoil hat accusations. No,
Yeah.
Lyndon B. Johnson himself, in my conspiracy theory, is a Soviet agent. He seriously, and
Mm.
he came from where you say everything breeds from,
Yeah.
academia. He was a
Yeah.
school teacher. He taught
Ah.
schoolie. Yeah, he was. And he was caught on a hot mic saying, with my policies, I'll have every goddamn nigger in the United States of America voting Democrat for decades. And he was right. They
Yeah.
did. They voted unanimously Democrat. Okay. And those
Yeah.
are the words that he fucking said. But with these implementations, he had Kennedy killed. He was an easy install as an asterisk president right into our White House, where he immediately started doing things like implementing these Great Society plans, the
Yeah,
war
but
on poverty, things like that.
whose idea was this? Who were the women surrounding him that pushed this shit? There was a whole
Well, the
bunch of
thing is,
women.
of course there was, but the thing is that he also was the one who escalated the Vietnam War. Now I know some of you people are saying, Johnny, if he was a communist and a Soviet, why the hell would he start the Vietnam War? Who are his fellow comrades? Well, he did that to make sure that the United States was able to fight an unpopular and unwinnable war with poor command like Robert McNamara, who was a fucking idiot, and poor equipment like the M16. My uncle got really fucked up in Vietnam as a radio man, having to lug that thing around plus his radio pack. But that's neither here nor there. That demoralized America, and it showed the Soviet Union, you was paper tiger, you was not so tough. We
Yeah.
could take you over lickety split.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what made Americans afraid of the whole thing, because they were like, wow, now the Soviets are going to see that we're kind of not the great GI hero that we showed ourselves off to be in World War II.
Yeah.
And that was, in my conspiracy theory, part of the plan. And it worked fabulously. I mean,
Yeah.
we have been demoralized and atomized like Generation X has been, um, for years. All that hippie counterculture stuff that you see in the 1960s, I don't want you to get this wrong, okay? This was,
That
this was,
feminist free
yeah,
sexual liberation shit.
right, exactly, okay?
Yeah.
That was,
Super feminist.
yeah, that's right. But the thing is that in the 1960s, it wasn't as popular as our mainstream media now leads us to believe. Okay, that hippie shit was only happening in a few cities, in a few blocks of cities. You had like Pike's Place in Seattle. You had
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much all of Portland, Oregon. You had Haight Ashbury in that area in San Francisco. L.A. was fucking fascist, dude. They were not hippies there, not a bit. Okay, you had Lake Havasu, you had Asheville, North Carolina, you had Clark and Belmont in Chicago, and then you had Greenwich Village in New York City. That's where it was pretty much confined to. And yeah, the media would report on it. of course, there were more and more liberal colleges happening where you were seeing that percolate throughout the United States. But your average workaday person was not doing a bunch of drugs and putting on headbands and having sex with brandos left and right. Okay, that actually started coming to mainstream culture in my generation throughout the 1990s, where everybody was liberal but not retarded about it.
Yeah.
Okay, if
Yeah.
that makes any sense. You didn't have men who had role models like Chuck Norris and Arnold Schwarzenegger and and Sylvester Stallone. You know, you didn't. Muscles were misogynistic. You
Mm.
wanted to be skinny noodle boys and things like that.
Yeah.
If you've noticed that, women, on the other hand, too, had to be weights. They had to be these really skinny, anorexic, skeletal life forms.
Yeah.
The waifu and the muscle mommy, that did not fucking exist back then. Those are tight. So,
Sorry.
but
I tried to mute that.
that's too late. Yeah, you did it. You did it. Nobody heard that. Anyway,
By the way, hello, Uncle Guns and Billy the Goat. They said hello, Johnny.
hello, Billy. Hello,
I
Uncle.
like this. Sir William of the
Of
Ruminant.
ruminant. Salute.
Billy the Goat.
I get it. He's a ruminant.
Yeah,
Got it.
sir.
I got it. I got it.
I'm going to call him that
Oh,
from now on. Thank you, Guns.
So anyway, that's just my fucking conspiracy theory. But if you look back, it all checks out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you would have hated John F. Kennedy due to the fact that he was pro-union. However, he wanted to do exactly what the fuck you're doing. He wanted to clean up the corruption in the union and make it efficient and functional again. He knew that we needed to have that. But the thing is that he also wanted to get off he wanted to get off the credit-based economy that was instantiated in 1913 with the Federal Reserve. He started actually printing $5 silver coins that were from our own national treasury, not through the Fed. And all these kind of shakeups that he was doing are good reasons for many different people to want to fucking kill him. All right. However, my theory is that Lyndon B. Johnson wanted to get his Soviet agent ass into the White House so he could demoralize generations of men and women throughout the United States. And in case you haven't fucking noticed, it worked very fucking well.
Oh, yeah. Every day. For decades.
If I could send a Terminator back to kill off 2 fucking presidents, it would be that faggot and Woodrow Wilson, of course, the worst president on the face of the planet.
Yeah. Hello, Contriver. Good to see you.
Okay, go on ahead and hit that. I just needed to kind of explain that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
The more your whole life shapes itself around one person. The apartment, the habits, the schedule, the way you like your coffee, all of it calibrated to exactly you. You get so good at it that restructuring everything around someone else starts to feel like a disruption rather than an upgrade. When someone asks, "Don't you get bored?" He usually looks a little confused, not defensive. Just like the question doesn't quite like.
See, I never understand boredom. I've never understood that. I have always had a list of things on my list. When I have the time, I'll get to it.
You are constantly busy, but even if I'm not busy, like the me time is very important, where I'm just doing nothing but meditating, and not in a fucking Hindu Buddhist way, but I'm just talking about thinking about shit. Like this video, my mind is totally occupied with something, you know.
Yeah.
And bored with what? The life he has runs on internal fuel. That's not boredom. That's just how it works. Then there's the guy who was married, and it ended. That's a genuinely different experience, and the research on this group is sobering. Studies have found that unmarried men between 40 and 60 are 3.5 times more likely to die by suicide compared to married men in the same range. Divorced men specifically come in at 8 times the rate of divorced
Holy
women.
shit.
8 times.
That's big.
And the reason
Donnie.
researchers keep landing on isn't weakness or some character flaw, it's structural. A lot of men built their entire social world around their marriage without realizing that's what they were doing. She was the one keeping the friendships going. She remembered birthdays, planned the dinners, and maintained the connections. When the marriage ends, it's not just the relationship that collapses. It's the whole social infrastructure it was holding up. He's not just alone in his house. He's alone in a way he doesn't have the vocabulary for because he never had to build those systems himself. So you've got 2 men, same apartment building, same age, same number of dinner plates. One of them has been doing this for 20 years and has optimized every corner of it. The other is doing it for the first time at 51.
Can I
Figuring
stop
out
you right
slowly
there?
and some
Yeah. A lot of the MGTOW brothers are this guy. All right. They have had marriages. They do have families. They have families that they can kind of see or sometimes totally fucking block from. And
Yeah.
I feel the most sorry for these guys. These are the people that really do need to go their own way. You can't live in regret and say, I wish I had never married her in the first place, because you can't change the past. You can't go back in time and be that another version of yourself. But many men are that were divorced in the MGTOW spaces. They have vocalized that this is exactly how they feel, especially when they first get there.
Yeah.
Trying to be able to figure it out without her and without the kids, and having lost his role as a husband and or a father. I don't have the role of a husband or a father. So to me, it's like business as usual, exactly like this video was saying. I mean, it really nailed that for me. But for these men, those are the ones that I worry about a lot. And for obvious reasons. Okay. If that makes any kind of sense, what I had said.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, their whole world is completely upside down at this point.
Mhm.
They had all this tribe, and then when she leaves, like,
Right.
no more tribe. You're isolated.
Right. And being part of a tribe is part of the natural order. And like this video was saying, the wife was the lifelink to the tribe. She was the one that was keeping up with the birthdays and making sure that people stayed together, while the husband did what he could to do his part for the family, which usually was not typically a social endeavor.
Right. Yeah, I was having a conversation with a red pillar earlier today on this exact thing.
Okay,
How
tell me about
women,
it.
how about how women are just more naturally social than men,
Right.
and men. I mean, expecting a man to operate like a woman is dumb, for one. Like, I mean, you guys are going to form your friendships and do clubs based upon your hobbies and probably make connections there. Or if guys are lucky enough to find MGTOW online, where it's
Mhm.
like an instant brotherhood that they're accepted into while they figure it out for their self,
Yeah. Rex, this guy, the writer that you had on a few weeks ago, he did kind of like a critique of MGTOW, but he was talking about how much he did like the camaraderie in those communities. I don't want to say like a community or a group, because there isn't one centralized group or leader.
You guys
But
congregate with each other.
and there are different groups that go under that name, but the main tenets for MGTOW are no cohabitation, no marriage, and no new children.
That's what I've learned that you guys have found that keeps you the safest in the future.
Correct.
Yeah.
For now, until the government or some NGO comes in here and fucks it all up for us.
No. I don't think they can really touch the most peaceful protest that we have in our society.
I hope not, unless they consult the AI and find a fucking way to do it that we never thought would happen.
Nah.
My big fear is is getting a fucking state assigned wife. Say, Mr. Johnny Midnight, this here is Tammy and her bastards. Hey, they're moving into your house now. And she's like 500 pounds, like, oh, I'm so fucking hungry. And she runs right to my goddamn refrigerator and totally drains it in 2 minutes. God
I can't do that. That would be, what would that be, Johnny?
That's like against what, the Fourth Amendment? That's like
tyranny.
That's like quartering.
Like, no. That's slavery. Because didn't people used to be able to do that to their slaves? Pair them up, mate them?
Yeah, you could breed them together and stuff.
Breed your slaves?
That's right. Yeah,
that would be slavery. That's illegal.
I don't care. She can fucking marry me, but I'm not fucking her. That's for goddamn sure.
No. Say no to the slavery. See? Yeah, you give them an inch and they're going to take a mile.
Yeah, exactly.
You say yes to any of it, Johnny, and you're screwed. You're going to have to sleep with her. All 500 pounds over.
Imagine the smell.
You'll wake up in the middle of the night and she'll be suffocating you.
I'm sorry I brought that up. That's not funny. That's fucking funny.
She will force herself upon you. Yeah. The consent laws will be thrown out the window, Johnny.
I'm gonna get raped by an oinkopotamus. Fucking hell, man.
So just say no in the beginning. Do not.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be like, fuck you. And then I'll like run out the side window while that cop's out there. All right, go ahead. Continue on.
Sometimes painfully, that independence is something you have to learn. It doesn't just show up automatically when you need it. And then there's a third type that doesn't come up much. The widower. Men who had the life, the relationship, the whole structure, and then lost it not to a court date, but to something they never saw coming. These men are in a different kind of alone.
Yeah,
the house still has two of everything.
The only like red pill guy that I know who had that happen to him was Blue Skies Media. And he was like, really, he had a hard time finding a woman or anything like that. But then he did find a woman. They got married. And when the marriage was new, guess what happened? She was walking home from work one day and got killed in a gang fight. Like she was, she lives in a rough borough in New York. And a stray bullet fucking hit her, man. They were very young and everything at the time. How I mean, like, wow, how does that fucking even happen?
You have to think God hates you at that point.
He did. He really does. I mean, if you've seen any of his transmissions or his videos, he's fucking really tore up. You know, he actually started doing like different types of hardcore drugs and everything like that to help cope with having everything taken away. And he was sort of torn between finding somebody new, which he said he was having a very hard time doing, versus just, you know, trying to come to peace with her death. Really sad story, but he's a very talented musician. BSM is, but anyway, continue on.
Rex is here. Hello,
Rex. Hey, Rexus, how you doing?
They're not learning to live alone from scratch. They're learning to live alone in a space that used to mean something else entirely. Research consistently shows that widowed men have some of the highest rates of depression and social isolation in midlife, and the main reason is the same as for divorced men. The person who managed the social connections is gone, and he never realized how much of his world she was holding together until it wasn't there anymore. But unlike divorce, there's no anger to process, just absence. And that's a particular kind of hard. So what does an actual day look like for this guy? Because the version people imagine and the version that exists are usually pretty different. He's up early. Not because someone's making noise, but because that's when his brain works. Coffee is the same every day, exactly the way he wants it. If he's still working, he goes. If not, there's always something. A project, a YouTube rabbit hole about old motorcycles or woodworking he'll go 3 hours deep into
Right
and not
on, man.
apologize for. Dinner whenever he wants. Could be 5, could be 9, entirely his call.
Yep.
And there's a quiet satisfaction in that which is hard to explain to someone who hasn't lived it. The evenings are split into 2 types pretty cleanly. One type fills the silence. Something's always on. A game, a documentary, a podcast. He's not uncomfortable. He just functions better with a signal in the background. The other type sits with the silence like it's an old friend. He reads, thinks, stares out a window for 20 minutes and doesn't apologize for it.
I can do
Both
that
of these
too.
men are managing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't have a cell phone, so I can't go doom scrolling or anything like that when I'm in a waiting room for this, that, and the other. And I even had like a reception ask me, "Hey Johnny, do you want something to read?" And I'm just like looking out at the fucking overcast sky. And I'm like, "No, this is good. I'm good."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just quiet and reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same underlying reality. No one to answer to, no one to account for him. For some, that's freedom. For others, under the right conditions, it becomes something else. Here's where the data gets specific in a way that's worth sitting with. A 2026 study on Gen X men and friendship found that 95% of men said friends are essential to a happy and healthy life. 95%. So it's not that they don't care, they absolutely do. But caring about something and being equipped to maintain it are 2 different things entirely. Men in the study were less likely than women to volunteer, attend any kind of regular gathering, or belong to a local organization.
I'm going to stop you
Only
right there. I'm
Yep.
going to stop you right there. See, I have made like, I have made a conscientious effort to make sure I'm not that fucking guy. I am in, the John Burt Society, and I've been going to mass on Sunday.
Yeah.
Not so much of that. I'm doing it because it's the cool thing right now, or the fact that I like Vatican II Catholicism. I think it's like one of the most fucking cucked religions out there right now.
Right.
We got to go back to veiling the women in the goddamn pews and purging the whores. But at least they won't let women free up on the pulpit, so that's good. But during Vatican II, though, they were talking about it, and that's when the Pope said, "Okay, we're going to stop this fucking convention. We're done.
Yeah,
get back to work." But the thing is that it is something for me to go to fill up my time, and I do have like a lot of musical chat groups and everything that I go to under my real name. But I do make sure to also get outside IRL somehow.
Yeah.
And these help me. I wish John Burt Society would convene more often, but it's a lot of fun when it does.
Yeah. By the way, hello, Shinobi. Hey, D-Dog. Good to see you.
Hello, Shinobi.
D-Dog said, as a Gen X man raised on hose water and neglect, having 1 or 2 good friends is all I need.
I totally agree with that. Just having 1 or 2 good friends is about... Because, I mean, D-Dog's also... He's a little bit older than me, I think, right? So it's like the older you get, the fewer people you want around you all the time.
Yeah. But you still do stuff out in your community. I know you've told me the little fair things that...
Yeah, I've done that too. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like...
have a look.
It's my acquaintances are the ones that are kind of like, come on, Johnny, fucking get out of the house and do that. So we do have that sort of small town tribalism thing going on here where this is what we do. And I do try to make sure that I get to somehow be a part of it. Like just even going to the fireworks on 4th of July, things like that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, you could go on. Continue.
About 1 in 5 men belongs to any kind of local group. And researchers described men's friendships as high passion, low vulnerability. They'll talk about sports, politics, music, whatever happened in the news for hours. But they won't say, I've been off lately. I haven't really talked to anyone in a while. I'm not doing great. That part doesn't come out. Not
I'm going to
because they
stop
don't
you
feel-
right there. One of the
Hold
Yeah.
on, Johnny, because this is
Mhm.
exactly the opposite of what I see in the MGTOW community. You guys
Yeah,
are very open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people like, oh, Jesus, Johnny, I want to fucking kill that bitch I work with. She makes me feel like fucking shit every goddamn day.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of us are, some of us do bloviate and puff our chests and say, I'm the best at this, I'm the best at that, or whatever. But eventually we kind of come around and say, all right, I am feeling really fucking down about this particular topic. We don't do it all the time. We like to get together and just have fun and watch Big Angry Phil play pinball. Okay. But we also are able to somehow be able to talk about these things when the time is right or when someone kicks it off. It gets us to be able to disclose our things as well and think about what they're going through. A lot of empathy happening there, GM.
Yeah. Oh no, I know. I've witnessed it for sure.
Yeah, I know
I
you have.
kind of like. I don't know. I feel like you guys are the most honest with each other out of every single other bubble that I've ever stepped in. You know?
Yeah. I would agree with that. But then again, I've gone to like different types of bubbles, but like with like the music stuff, I mean, all we talk about is fucking music or maybe goofy things.
Yeah.
But other than that, nobody's feelings and stuff come up at all about
Yeah.
how they're doing at the time. It's mostly men there too. Very very fucking few women get into music production. And I know you're probably thinking, what about Taylor Swift? What about Adele? What about her? They're very, very few. They're usually singers. They don't get behind the mixing console often and do all the mathematical crap like I do.
Yeah.
It's just not of interest to them. There are fewer women in audio tech and music production than there are female firefighters in the United States. It's like
I don't understand why.
because math is hard. That's why. Faggots. All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
it, but because the wiring for saying it out loud was never really installed. And somewhere along the way, not asking for things became a form of identity. Men connect shoulder to shoulder. They do things together, fish, work on something, sit at a game. The conversation happens around the activity.
Right.
But when you live alone at 55 and your shoulder to shoulder buddy is 3 time zones away, the connection fades into a group chat nobody reads. And since these friendships don't officially
Except
end,
the FBI.
no conflict, no falling out,
Right.
both men just assume it's still there. Inactive, like a tool in the garage. It exists. It's just not in use. And the longer it sits, the more restarting feels like it needs a reason or occasion. So they wait. And years go by without one. About 60% of Gen X adults qualify as lonely, higher than boomers, and these are people who from the outside look completely fine. Jobs, routines, homes, cars. The loneliness doesn't announce itself. It looks like a guy who's always busy, always handling something, never needs anything from anybody. And if you push him on it, he'll change the subject to last night's game. Here's something that actually gets missed. Living alone in your 50s, when you've been doing it for a while, comes with genuinely good things. Not as a spin on the negatives, but actually good things worth naming.
Yeah.
There's a stability to a life you built yourself entirely. Every routine was chosen, not negotiated. He eats what he wants, sleeps how he wants, and spends his money on what matters to him.
That motherfucker's
On a Saturday
buying a
afternoon when
PS5.
everything's in its place, the weather's right, there's nowhere to be, and nothing he owes anybody.
I love that.
On those
shit.
days, the life he has is exactly the life he'd choose. He's not performing contentment, he has it. And here's the part the data shows that people don't expect. Loneliness goes down as people get older. Adults in their late 40s and 50s report the highest rates. Nearly half say they feel lonely in that window, but the number drops steadily into their 60s and 70s. The Gen X man struggling at 53 often feels different at 65. Something shifts. People get more comfortable in their own skin. The noise about what their life was supposed to look like gets quieter. That's worth knowing if you're in the middle of it right now. But there's a real risk in this kind of life that doesn't get enough attention. And it's not the loneliness people usually point to. It's the drift. The drift is what happens when there's no external structure and no one to reflect your life back at you. It doesn't arrive all at once. It happens the way most things go wrong. Gradually, quietly, in ways that feel completely normal while they're happening. You skip the gym one day, then it becomes a week. Meals get simpler, then careless. Sleep shifts a little, then a lot. And because there's no one there to say, hey, this isn't like you, nothing ever feels wrong. Your normal just moves. And a fully self-managed life can feel stable even when it's slowly narrowing. There's no signal, no alert, just a guy who looks at his routine one day and realizes, without any drama, that it's gotten a lot smaller than he intended. Not because something broke, because nothing stopped it from getting smaller. I noticed this pattern in myself during a stretch when I lived alone for a while. Nothing extreme. But I remember thinking I was doing fine. And then one day looking at my week and realizing it had quietly contracted. Less movement, less variety, less energy going outward. No single moment caused it. It just narrowed because nothing was pushing back. So here's what the research is actually showing works. And I want to keep this practical, not preachy. One study highlighted a group of men who started something they called Wednesday Waffle. Each guy would record a 2-minute video. No script, no topic, just whatever was on his mind, and drop it in a group chat every Wednesday. That was the whole thing. No scheduling, no coordinating, no pressure to be interesting. Just 2 minutes of being present in each other's lives once a week. And it worked. Not because it was
2 minutes of being present in each other's life once a week. Oh shit, Johnny. Where'd you go, Johnny?
Fucking it's called the ROF laptop. That stands for Republic of Faggots. And it for some reason went beep, and then it fucking restarted on
Shit, how long were you down there?
Oh, only a couple of seconds.
Okay.
It restarted on me for no fucking reason. There's some, and of course it does it during a fucking stream.
Yeah. No, what he just said, 2 minutes of what did he say? 2 minutes once a week of being in each other's company made a big difference. Just 2 minutes once a week.
Well, I mean, I hang out with, a lot of people, more than, 2 minutes a week. I do socialize IRL and not as much IRL, but online with different spaces that I like to just go ahead and talk and have fun at. I think it's one of the things too that helps keep me sober, even though some of these guys are drinking during it. It doesn't really trigger me at all. I don't know. But okay.
D-Dog said 2 minutes of random shit. I'm in.
Yeah, that's it, man. 2 minutes of random shit. Everybody needs it. God, I hate this fucking laptop. I swear, I think I'm gonna fucking play frisbee with it one day.
Wait, is this the one you just bought?
Yeah, this is the one I just bought. I thought I fucking fixed it. Well, there is one thing I do need to do, which is like a full-on, like not a total reboot, but a solid reboot. So there's something wrong with there's something with the lighting system. These flashy like gamer lights that are on it, and it causes the motherboard to trip, like with a little short circuit. And then it automatically restarts my fucking computer for no reason. It happens maybe once every 2 days. And as luck would have it, it happened while I was on my stream with you.
That should not happen to a brand new rig.
I know, right? But that
Yeah.
is something that they put in as like a power saving function to make it more Greta Thunberg Earth happy. How dare you? I'm fucking retarded. Oh, I hate that bitch. Anyway.
Yeah.
Profound, but because it was frictionless enough that they actually kept doing it. That's the real insight. Small, regular contact beats big, occasional contact every time. A short text once a week does more than one long phone call every 6 months. The men who seem to age best in solo living aren't the ones who overhaul their whole social life. They're the ones who build in a few low-effort anchors. One consistent person, one routine that gets them outside the house, one thing that happens whether they feel like it or not, and actually maintain them.
You know
Tying
what? I'm going to
interaction to
stop
an
you right there
activity helps a
too.
lot.
Anchor points. I like that.
Yeah, and the thing about that is too, like it's easier for men to operate this way socially than it is for a woman.
Oh yeah.
Especially like a woman who has borderline personality, and there's a lot of them out there.
Those highly neurotic, crazy bitches.
Yeah, they're gonna overhaul their lives every fucking 6 months. You know, I'm vegan now. No, now I'm a fucking Nazi. No, now I'm a gangbanger bitch. You know, it just over and over again. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to fucking ride a buffalo. It's just how they operate many times. They're constantly on to some new, out with the old, in with the new to sort of plan. Whereas men are a little bit more stable on that, even more reluctant to try something new. And it's not just being in your 50s like a Generation X person would, but even Gen Y and Gen Z. I think it's just a male trait, the way the male brain works.
Yeah. Yeah. Need limited encouragement goes a long way. Limited
Yeah,
interaction goes a long way.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And actually maintain them. Tying interaction to an activity helps a lot because that's how this kind of man is wired. Not let's sit down and talk about how we're doing, but we both show up here on Tuesdays. The conversation becomes a side effect, not the goal. And side effects are a lot easier to maintain than goals. And the most important anchor is the structure itself. In a fully independent life, structure is what replaces everything else. It's what keeps the drift from accelerating. Fixed times, fixed habits, things that happen regardless of motivation. Because motivation in a solo life is the most unstable variable there is. When structure holds, everything else stays manageable. When structure starts slipping, things tend to follow in a sequence that feels inevitable in hindsight.
You know
So,
what? Here's
what's the
yeah,
real picture?
Yeah, we need to back
okay,
that up. By the way,
yeah.
hello, Riggs. Good to
Hey,
see you.
Riggs, penis, but like,
Oh, John.
hey, John, how are you doing, buddy? But the thing is that like the
Sleep, food,
structure.
exercise, contact. 4 pillars.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though. I mean, I remember when, like, when I would write, and I was going my own way at this time. I would make sure that I would set aside a structure of writing 2,000 words a day.
Mm.
Hopefully, good ones, but not always. You know, I had a lot of stories that I threw right in the fucking garbage, but I did at least work through that. They started off as a pretty cool idea, but then somewhere along the line, I just decided to abandon it because maybe I came to a block. Same thing with like music, really, really helped because I had an actual recording deadline. I actually had to fulfill that contract. Okay. And that again was a structure that I was not obliged to do, but obligated to do. That helped me out a lot too, even while I was drinking through all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good foundation.
Sleep, food, exercise, and some contact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the thing is that you want to make sure that all four of these pillars are healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to sleep too much or undersleep. You don't want to eat a bunch of bad fat back shit.
Yeah.
Exercise shouldn't be something harmful or overdoing it, like I was telling you in my DM with you earlier today. And contact can totally be unhealthy. You could wind up
Oh yeah.
contacting with just
A bunch of crazy bitches.
a bunch of crazy bitches, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're going to go ahead and make you just, um,
Use the shit out of you.
yeah,
Yeah.
those can all be corrupted, and you yourself can corrupt it.
Yeah. Hmm.
What do you think about that one, GM?
No, I believe that. I mean, see, the thing that see a lot going on is like you have these guys that are fundamentally really good natured,
Mm-hmm.
and they take the bait and become like prey for these crazy bitches that totally take advantage of what's natural for men, and they hook them into, I don't know, it's
Are you talking about like basically well single men that are basically good natured? The crazy
yeah,
bitch sees that and says, "Wow, I could go in and exploit that for my own." Um, Not even just my own gain, but for my own entertainment.
yeah,
I don't care what happens to this fucking guy. I'll chew him up and spit him out as quickly as I have to. But in the meantime, I'm going to have some fucking fun because I am a crazy bitch, and that's what I do.
yeah.
Isn't that terrible that there are people out there, and a lot of them?
There are a lot of them. Yeah, no, they're kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
Shinobi said, "What have you done with the extra money saved from not drinking? When I was a quitter, I saved enough money to buy a samurai armor. Now I savor the flavor of my drinks."
I bought a Honda, and then I bought this shitty fucking laptop that crashes on me all the time. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good, Shinobi.
Well, next time Shinobi quits drinking, he's going to build a dojo. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody needs a dojo, I think.
I bet you're gonna build one day.
Oh
I can
yeah.
totally see that, like on your compound.
I remember when Cam played Minecraft, like something that he built on Minecraft was a dojo in the sky, and it was grand. Like it was
Oh, cool.
so elaborate,
Nice.
but it was like up a pole. And he's like, yeah, it's
Right, you had to like
a
kind of
sky
like
dojo.
float up there or some shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Nice.
All right, Johnny, I need a. Oh, here it is. I don't know if for some reason I separated this, so little technical difficulty.
Okay.
Had to find the window.
Sequence that feels inevitable in hindsight. So, what's the real picture here? He's not broken, not waiting, not secretly miserable behind a well maintained routine. He built something, and a lot of the time it works well. He can sit by himself in a way most people can't. He runs on internal fuel, and it runs pretty clean. But there are the other days. Sitting in a waiting room with nobody to text on the way over. A holiday that passes without a real conversation. That moment right before sleep when the house makes a noise and there's nobody to exchange a look with. Those days don't cancel the good ones, but they're real, and they show up in the data and they show up in the comments of videos like this one. The gap between being alone and feeling alone, that's where the real psychology of this guy lives. He's been practicing not needing for so long, he often can't tell which side of that gap he's on. He can go 11 days without a meaningful conversation, notice
Right.
it briefly, and file it under fine. Not because
11 days without a meaningful conversation.
Oh, I've done that before. Yeah, I
Really?
mean, not often, but yeah, I have. You know, I have for sure. I've actually had days like, I would say, I think the longest time I have actually walked around without having said anything, uttering any kind of word to myself or anybody was like 3 days.
Mm.
And I actually told somebody in a MGTOW chat about that. I'm like, dude, this is the first time I've spoken to anyone in 3 fucking days, including myself.
Yeah. See, I think because I'm a chick, that would just be
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, you guys can't do that like we can.
Well, somebody's always coming to me to talk to me about something. So
Yeah, well, yeah, you're kind of in that position right now too. So
yeah, and just in my life, I've never. And I was actually talking with a bunch of my friends about that because I don't think people are supposed to live alone. And all the sane women that I know, I have asked all of them, when was the last time you lived alone? And none of them have. They went
yeah.
from their parents' house to got married, started family, or they went to college, had roommates, then married, started family.
Hmm.
None of them have ever lived by themselves.
Oh, see, like I look to live by myself. I've
Yeah,
woman-proofed my fucking home. The town I live in is practically woman-proof because I mean, very few women are going to want to live out here.
yeah.
Um, it's either too cold, too barren, no lighter than air jobs to do, things like that. It's not woman friendly. That's why there's so few of them where I live.
Mm.
I mean, it gets like Siberian fucking cold
Yeah,
sometimes in the winter in
that's
January.
ridiculous,
Yep.
Johnny. You need
Hmm.
to move somewhere palm trees grow.
I guess so. I guess.
All right, let's see. This is almost done.
He's in denial because the system he built doesn't have a meter for that. The wire goes dead quietly and the light doesn't come on. Men's friendships often last 20 or 30 years. They hold onto the same guys from school, from their first job, but the wire goes dead, not because they stopped caring, because nobody taught them how to keep it live. They wait for a reason to reach out, and sometimes years go by without one. And if you're the guy watching this right now in a quiet house on a weeknight, I'm not going to tell you to join a kickball league. That's not your speed, and we both know it. But call that friend you haven't talked to in 3 years. Not because something's wrong, not because you need anything from him. Just because 3 years is too long, and the guy on the other end of that call is probably sitting in a quiet house too, in his own routine,
Yeah,
waiting
like
for
my
a
cousin.
reason that
Yeah.
Yeah, waiting for a
Yeah,
reason. that
my
never
cousin
comes.
my cousin and I are exactly the fucking same. It's
Mm.
I mean, we went different paths, but still, he actually got married for I think 4 months and then divorced her because he just couldn't stand it.
Really?
Yeah, she was. I guess she was a crazy bitch though. So
Yeah.
he was
Well,
like, "Get the fuck out of my house!
that's
I
good
cannot
that he
take
got
this."
out in 4 months.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's,
I think it was a pretty clean cut cord. So
see,
whatever.
that's
But
nice that he didn't have to serve a longer sentence.
and it is a sentence for sure.
Yes, it is.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that video is interesting because it does highlight some different origin stories of why these guys are alone and kind of the
yeah.
different ways to handle or they handle it.
A lot of these men don't go their own way, or they're not capable of doing it. Okay, like
Yeah,
I think that only very few men are able to go ahead and say, "All right, I'm going to go ahead and commit to this lifestyle." Just because knowing what I know, it's probably the best thing for me.
yeah,
Um, Otherwise, I could wind up imprisoned, institutionalized, completely fucking insane, homeless, or dead.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, we all die, but I don't want to die in my 50s like a lot of men do.
yeah. That's too young.
Yeah, it is. It really is, especially in this day and age with our medical technologies. But
Yeah,
it does happen. And I think that, I don't know, it's just Generation X was the first generation, I think, that was prepared from a very early age to go their own way if they decide to do that. I do know a lot of like Generation Jones that do that. And I think SCE, he might have been an alpha boomer. That motherfucker was old. You know what I
Right?
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he might have been at Woodstock. I'm not sure, but you know, it's it's definitely one of those things. Um, but yeah, I do remember, you know, seeing everything gradually incontify
Mm. Hmm.
from my adult life in the '90s until and now it's just completely batshit retard level.
Yeah.
Um, will it get better? You think it will? In your
Oh man,
estimation,
there's
okay,
so many things going in the right direction right now.
okay,
I
okay,
mean, Tulsi Gabbard just resigned from Trump's cabinet. Like the women in the Republican cabinet that
yeah,
Trump put in men's jobs,
yeah.
they're slowly disappearing. And I'm kind of wondering if he just put them up there to fail to show the world, like, oh, this is why women have no business in politics.
That
Like,
is what makes me wonder too, because the guy is say what you want about him now, but I mean
yeah,
he still is playing 5D chess. I have some
yeah,
more theories about that too, include
really,
you know involving Iran, but I'm not going to bring that up right now.
okay.
Um,
No,
because
I'm seeing so much positive shit, and every day I check on the crazy bitch cults. Feminist News
uh-huh.
Now is the best source of their angst. So anything that they complain about, I'm like, this is all good stuff. They're talking about all
Right.
the shit that's getting all their preferential treatment stuff being picked apart bit by bit in this state,
Yeah.
in that state, like, and they're losing. They don't have the power that they once did. Now, and
Hopefully,
also seeing it in academia, Texas A&M.
yeah.
Like I get a little impatient with other ecosystems that are lagging behind the getting rid
Right.
of DEI bullshit because
Right.
I see it in full swing, but I forget sometimes the shit generates in academia. The people I know in
Right.
academia right now are putting their foot down and firing diversity hires, where before they were too afraid to. They'll just promote them up and out.
I've been seeing that. You've been sending me articles of
Yeah,
one useless diversity hire after another
I
getting kicked out.
know. And
And
it's happening all over the nation.
they're in some pretty top positions too, you know,
Yeah. And
deans and provosts and whatnot like that. I'm like, yeah, get them the fuck out of there.
yep. Yep.
They just don't have, they're not equipped to do that job efficiently. And a lot of them are there to sabotage it. They are
Oh yeah.
there to like decisively sabotage that school and that curricula.
Oh yeah. Kids, they're the true believers, the true hardcore feminists, the man
Hmm.
haters, the ones that
Yeah,
want to see men and families destroyed.
right.
Like those are the ones behind it,
And
driving.
they don't only just hate men; they hate children as well. They're Lilithian. They want to eat babies. They fucking hate them. They can't wait till post birth termination comes out,
Yeah.
and hopefully it never will. I am doubtful that it won't, but you know we'll have to see what happens in the next 10, 15 years.
Wait, I saw something about that actually.
Yeah,
I did yesterday. Post
because you know a lot of these fucking women are gonna take their kids to see Santa Claus. You know it.
right. No, I could have sworn. I hate my phone. I'm about ready to throw it. Now
we should
I'm having pop-ups on my phone.
we should get our fucking guns and skeet like your phone and my laptop.
Yes.
Like,
Pull.
bam! Fucking hate this thing.
Yes. Post-birth termination. I could have swore I literally just saw.
Batty Commander was saying they were proposing it up to age 16, and then I've heard up to age 5. Then I've heard things like up to age 3 months or whatever. But either way, it is going to be a horrible fucking abuse of public policy. It's
Yeah.
going to, it is going to set
It was
precedents.
it was somewhere in Europe though.
Yeah, probably like Switzerland or the Netherlands or France or somewhere where, it's really fucking gay. No offense if you're from there listening in, but your countries are fucking gay. So
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, Johnny. I know it's hard to see the big picture sometimes when a lot of stuff is, but I see a lot of shit going in the right direction.
yeah, no, I understand.
And
I've just been,
it'll take places time to catch up.
yeah, it is. It takes about 25 years for that stuff to implement. The damage that was done will take it took 25 years to show, and the healing that is going to be done will take about 25 years to be perceivable in full effect. But the thing is that it's like, back to the topic here, like being Generation X. Do you know Generation X men that are alone and do have, I mean, aside from me and like I'm talking about in your own life, you don't have to name names or anything like that, but okay.
Yeah, I know quite a few. Actually,
Who have ever been married or
recently. I know a MGTOW. I mean, they don't know it's MGTOW what they do. They don't know there's a name for it. But I've met many MGTOW in my community, actually.
Really? Okay.
They just automatically did the thing after. Well, I told you when that FBI agent showed up at my house.
Yeah.
His wife left him for her massage therapist and divorced him.
Good
and
Lord.
He was sure as shit not to. He sure did not bring his partner, who's a woman, to my house after viewing my content. And he told me his MGTOW story.
That is funnier than fuck.
Yeah,
like he was afraid for her because of you.
Well, him and the campus security guy were like, "Oh my god, yeah, we've been waiting till our schedules coordinated so we could come here together, like, and talk to you about your YouTube channel." And they're like, "We don't disagree with anything that you say."
That's fucking badass, dude.
I know. That was funny. It was funny. But no, there's a lot of men in our society that have a lot of the same philosophy that you guys do in your group, that they just don't name it. Like, they've gone so far MGTOW, they don't even talk about MGTOW.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I don't IRL at all. I don't talk about it in real life either, because like I said, I just don't want to have to fucking try to explain it. Yeah.
See, no, the way, because a lot of people, I think, naturally understand that if you can't, that people that don't want to fight abusers and don't want to take part in that toxic battle, you just go away from it. Like the narcissist, you give him no supply at all.
I think men are more apt to say, "This scene fucking blows, I'm out of here," than a woman is. A woman, I think, will put up with more social bullshit than a man will.
Maybe.
Not always, but I think by and large, a man will recognize this is a stimulus that is unpleasant. Yeah. And I want to be away from it, because especially when I don't have to be there. All right. I'm not talking about something like being on a mission in a war or something. Yeah, you've got to fucking obey your orders. There's nothing you can do about it. But or you're on a job and you have to get up in that sky high crane. Even if you're not feeling like it that day, you've got to fucking do it. But when you're doing something that's optional, those third space social gatherings, and you're not liking it, well, you'll leave and not come back.
Yeah. Where I love them. I'm going to a big convention next.
Yeah.
Next. And I cannot wait to talk to all these people and in my new bubble.
And there is a difference. There is a difference. When I go to a convention, it's because I want to see music gear and music technology and all the new shit. You want to talk to the people. I don't want to talk
Well,
to
I
them.
wanna find out who's ideologically infected and not, who's in the feminist cult and who's not.
Right, right. So your goals are inherently social to go there anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's about people, so you're going to be taking a look at you're going to be taking a look at unpleasant agency in there that is
I
social.
I want to check out the fucking tribe I joined. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I want to check out the tribe that I joined. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And see
okay.
if they vibe with my tribe at all, or if I just joined a fucking cult.
I'm thinking the second is going to happen, but then again, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm a pessimist anymore. I
Yeah.
think so.
I
Take it
don't know.
as you will.
I had a chat with the sheriff. I told you earlier I had a chat with
Yeah.
the sheriff yesterday, who also thinks, private security places should be hiring more men instead of fat, fucking shaved head black. Not actually, she wasn't black. She was maybe Hispanic, white. I don't know. There's no reason a super fat woman should be a security officer at a school,
Yeah.
though. Like
How
when
did
I
I put
see
it?
that, I don't. It doesn't. As a mother, it doesn't. It
Yeah,
doesn't give me a feeling that my children are safe.
of
When I see
security
that
and
crazy bitch,
confidence.
I'm like, what
Yeah.
is this predator doing here? Like, that's
It's like,
weird.
we need you on the clock. There's a school shooting. He's like, I'm not finished with my hoagie.
Right?
It's like how did I put it? It's like yeah, using a pig to guard your sheep instead of a German Shepherd.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
does not instill confidence in the operation at all.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and like the sheriff, actually, I said that too. He's like, "Oh, hey, I agree. I'm a dad. I completely understand
Right.
what you're saying."
Nice.
I'm like, "Thank you for protecting the children here. It's not like this at every school because it's mandated now in Texas that every single public school shall have security there,
Cool. Well,
and there's
it is
not
what it
enough."
is.
Yeah, there's not enough actual cops to go around, so a lot of these schools are stuck with private security officers and fucking fat women
Yeah,
protecting
they
their
hire Fatty
children.
Boom Batty, and I
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, if I could muster up the the sorrow for them, I
Yeah.
would feel sorry for those women in that position, but they're stupid
Why?
enough to go ahead and apply for something that they know that is over their head in the first place. So, you know, I I feel sorry about the situation, not the fact that they went and did it. Okay. They should know fucking better. But they've got a mirror. They know that they can't walk up a flight of stairs. I can't guard shit. And I just got my nails did. Some DEI security officer. Hi,
Yeah.
Adrian.
Get my lashes on too.
I got my umbrellas ready, nigga. Ooh, shit.
Umbrellas. Yeah, Shinobi, I think you're right about that game Risk.
What? Show me that. What did he post?
He said Risk, the game of Risk teaches you this. The only way to really win at Risk without playing to kill everyone is to not play.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, you know, you do have the option to kill.
Right, in Risk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to get going.
All right,
Thanks
Johnny.
for having me on here. Okay.
You're
And
welcome.
I will talk to everybody that showed up later. Hopefully, if you haven't shown up, you will be able to go ahead and take a look at this stream. Especially if you're a MGTOW brother. Have a good night.
Have a good night, Johnny. Bye, everybody in the chat.